Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another segment of Tina Talks. Today I have Bob Hoffman. Let's welcome him to Tina Talk. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Tina. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, good, good, good.
Thank you so much for joining to talk to us on Tina Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Can you now give me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, Tina, I'm a retired three-time individual. This is a retirement job for me. I just can't seem to sit still.
Okay.
And I'm like to pride myself as a family man. Married for over 50 years, two children, four grandchildren. Uh,
Congratulations.
yes, range in age from 4 to 25, and
Wow.
three out of four are here in Florida. One's in San Diego, California. So I've got them spread out kind of mainly here in Florida, but one in California. And we moved here to the Tampa area 5 years ago from Jacksonville. And a lot of stuff had happened to me in my life. Long story short, I found myself in a position that didn't have a whole lot of money. Like most seniors, people my age, let's call them seasoned individuals, not seniors, okay? Uh,
Okay.
Senior was at grade after junior year in high school, right?
That sounds nice. Uh-huh.
Or the fourth year of college or whatever it was. But us seasoned individuals grew up without the guidance of the good financial planners like we have today. And a majority of senior citizens don't have a lot of money in the bank. But one of the things we've learned to do is make an investment in real estate in our home. And everybody always says your home is your biggest investment you ever make.
It is.
Used to be true until you started putting kids through college.
That's true too.
And that can be a huge investment also.
Right.
When we moved here, uh, we lived in Jacksonville. I had been able to buy and pay cash for a nice little townhouse in Jacksonville, and I had been forced to downsize considerably when we moved there because of having lost my job at the ripe old age of 62. So we lived there in a townhouse, beautiful section of Jacksonville, and had gone from a beautiful house half a mile off the beach to a smaller townhouse, and a lot of things had happened. So, but when we came here to Tampa to follow our daughter and grandchildren, we were lucky enough to sell that townhouse and basically double our investment in the townhouse. So I came to Tampa thinking I was going to be able to buy a nicer townhouse. And the townhouse in Jacksonville sold quickly, so I came here without a home and lived with the daughter and son-in-law and kids for a short time. And one morning we were sitting in a bagel shop, and I picked up the Coffee News, and we all know the Coffee News. We've all met Nicole, who has a franchise locally for Coffee News, and there was an ad in there: buy a home using a reverse mortgage. So I called the man, talked to the man, and he said, "Explain your situation. Tell me where you're at financially." And he said, "What a reverse mortgage is going to do, Bob, is allow you to double your buying power." And Daddy always taught me if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, I had some choice words. No, it can't be, it can't be. And he says, "Trust me, it's going to work." Well, about 6 weeks later, my wife and I were moving into a house. We bought a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. You know where I live. It's a nice section of Land O'Lakes, and lots of amenities, living a lot better than we were in the townhouse. And all I did was put down half the value of the house, and I don't make any payments. All I do now is pay my insurance and my taxes every year. And I live here, and I can for the rest of my life by just doing that. So it's, excuse me, it's made my life a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable to be living in a single family home again. In the process of doing this, I became really enamored with the product. I really, really fell in love with it. I said, "You know what? The guy that did it for me was Joe." And I said, "Joe, you need to help me get a job doing this." Because a wise man told me one time, don't retire and sit down. If you retire and sit down, you know what happens? I said, "No, what's that, Ted?" He says, "You die." I said, "Whoa, I don't want to do that." So,
No.
yeah, so he urged me to stay busy. And that's why I say I've retired three times. In 1996, I sold my business and went to work for Kodak. When Kodak went sour, I went to work for another business and was there till 2011. And then after all the stuff that had happened earlier in 2011, I ended up losing my job again. So when we moved to Jacksonville, I again found a job. So I keep working, keep busy. It's nice.
It
It
is.
The reverse mortgage business allows me to help people, whether it's helping them move into a home like I did, or helping them consolidate some debts, create some monthly income. Gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling when I do that. But the real bonus, and I tell all my clients, I get to make some money off of this too. So I get to enjoy that, reap that benefit of it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
not only am I living in a nicer home than I had expected to, I also have a little bit more money, and
Yeah.
it's made my life a lot easier.
Yes. And and like you, right? When you saw that coffee news ad into you making that phone call, you were a non-believer, right?
Oh, exactly,
You
exactly.
think it's a scam. You think that it's just too good to be true.
Yes,
And
like I said,
being
if it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. And being in the real estate business, sometimes it's hard for me to explain to a seasoned person that reverse mortgage might be a thing for them. So I'm so glad that you agreed to join Tina Talk and kind of help explain and educate our viewer what it really is and what it can do for them. So, can you please quickly tell me what is in your term that that you explain to your client? What is reverse mortgage?
Okay. I like to refer to reverse mortgage and forward mortgage, the traditional forward mortgage. So if everybody's basically had a forward mortgage in their life, and what they do over a 30-year period is they watch their balance go down. In a reverse mortgage, you're only borrowing roughly 50% of the value of your home. And we all know that in a traditional forward mortgage, you pay back twice as much money as you borrow, maybe even more. So by
Right.
leaving half there, that half that's left is that if you live 30 or 40 more years, you can use that second half to make your payments and not make a payment. So it's just that instead of the balance going down, it's reversed. It goes up, and
And
it never comes due until you leave the home.
and another question that I think that people would like to know is reverse mortgage for everybody?
No, it's not. Definitely not. Um,
Who is it for? Who is
well,
meant
it's a wide range, and that's why my mantra is: if you're 62, I need to talk to you. Okay, because in 5 years of doing this, I've dealt with everything from a little old lady in her early 80s in Daytona Beach who was in a $50,000 older home. And we were able to help her get enough money to turn her garage into a stained glass studio. And that was her hobby. Now she's teaching stained glass classes in that. To a $4.5 million home in Boca Grande, where I helped a doctor retire. He was still working because his mortgage payment he couldn't afford on his retirement. So we were able to do that. So everybody, no matter what their case, in your case and your people that you're dealing with, if you're moving to Florida and you're retiring, let's just say you're coming down with $300,000 in your pocket. Don't go buy a $300,000 house and pay cash. Put 150 down and keep the other 150 and enjoy life. You worked hard to earn that $300,000, so why shouldn't you enjoy it? It's that simple.
and we have a conversation before, Bob, and you tell me something that, you know, to a lot of people, it's too good to be true, is that you bought your home in a great community now.
Yes.
So, but tell me, if you would choose to move, what happened?
Okay, just like the traditional mortgage. My home right now has appreciated in value faster than my balance has gone up, which is pretty much traditional. You know, in the real estate market, that the average growth is around 4% a year. My interest rate is just slightly over 3. So it makes sense that my balance, I borrowed a little under 50%. I borrowed a little more over than 50%, just slightly over 50% of the value of my house. So I put down $85,000 on my house. Today, if I sold my house for what it's worth, I could walk away with over $100,000. And I've been here for 5 years and haven't made a payment. So I could take the $100,000 and go buy another house and get another reverse mortgage with 100 and be in the same boat. So if my daughter relocated and we wanted to move and follow them, we could do that. If I wanted to move into a townhouse condo where somebody was going to cut all the grass and do all that, or if I can do enough of these loans and I can make enough money, maybe I want to move up to a $300,000 house and I have some money to put with that 100 if I can save it up. So the possibilities, again, if you're 62, I need to talk to you. Just talk to me and see what it is. See what we can do.
Yes, and I deal with a lot of my client that doesn't know that reverse mortgage is an option. Not a lot of people are talking about it. Not a lot of people are educated about it. So to me, when I heard that that is what you specialize on, I said I need to get you on Tina Talk so that I can show the viewer that yes, when you're 62 or older, you do have options to be able not to pay mortgage, to continue to work and not enjoy yourself, especially here in Florida. Most of our residents are here because they want to vacation, but then they end up having to have a home and purchase a home, and now they continue to work or try to save money so that they can pay for their mortgage. And I'm so glad that you're here and living that example that you are in a reverse mortgage and that you're not paying anything. And if you are moving, especially now in the seller's market, that you're going to have, money that you get from your home.
Sure.
So is there anything else that you want our viewer to know about reverse mortgage, other than, of course, go to you and talk to you and learn more? But is there something that you hear often that your clients said, "Oh my God, I didn't know that"?
Well, Tina, I don't want you to get too upset with me now, but a lot of real estate agents, when they learn about this, now have people coming to them and they say, Tina, I need you to sell my home. I'm running out of money. And you can say, okay, I'm going to list your home. Well, if they take what money's left and they have to go somewhere and pay rent, they're still going to run out of money.
Yes.
So this is where real estate agents sometimes don't like me a whole lot, because I say, if you are like you, and I know about you, if you're a person with conscience and you want to do the right thing for people, you say, well, maybe you ought to talk to Bob, let him take over the balance on your other mortgage, and so that you don't have to make a payment anymore and continue to live in your own home. And
Yeah.
we've done that so many times. I've saved people because seniors have two big fears. Number one, they'll run out of money, and number two, they won't be able to live in their own home. We don't
Yeah.
want to. We don't want to move back in with the kids. Trust me.
No, and I understand that. And Bob, I'm not mad at all. See how excited I am when I want you
Yes.
to talk about reverse mortgage, because I feel like not enough senior know about it. And it is a burden to know that you're gonna run out of money and have nowhere to live. It's the two scariest thing that a person have to deal with. And so I'm super excited. No, I'm not mad. I'm actually glad and thankful that you joined, because I just feel like I had mentioned to you before that just not enough people know about reverse mortgage and the pro that go with it. I see that there's a lot of, like you said, right? The first time you heard about it, it's just too good to be true.
Yep.
And so when people feel that way, and the reality is that there is not a lot of lender out there that talk a lot about reverse mortgage. A lot of people know the traditional mortgage and they talk about that, but for for people to really truly want to learn the benefit of reverse mortgage, they need to have an expert. And I think that expert is you living it, you've been helping people. So I'm very excited to be able to, get people to meet you and that to call you and educate themselves more about reverse mortgage. And like you mentioned before, reverse mortgage are not for everyone. But this is why I highly recommend doing your research. Start with Bob, talk to him, tell him what's going on, and then find a solution. It may be and it may not be, but you'll never know until you find out. And as a real estate agent, I have worked with a lot of senior, and I have to tell you, reverse mortgage for senior, sometimes it's the best thing, a best choice, and sometimes it's not, but not until you find out and educate yourself about it. So, if you're watching and you have an older parent, or if you are watching and you're older than 62, please make sure you reach out to Bob. Reach out, ask questions, and make sure to see if you can do anything to help yourself and help your current situation. Am I right?
You're exactly right. Exactly.
Well, thank you, Bob, for joining me for Tina Talk. I appreciate it. Is there any last thing that you want our viewer to know about reverse mortgage?
Well, it's just kind of like I tell people it's like buying a car. If you go out to buy a Chevy, you ought to look at Fords too. So before you sign any papers, even if you're talking to my competition, let me talk to you too and see, compare and shop, no matter what you're buying. I don't care if you're buying sneakers. Look at the New Balance, look at the Nikes, look at the Pumas, look at them all and make sure what's the right fit for you. It's just like you say, reverse mortgage isn't for everybody, but if I've got a good fit for you, talk to me. Let me talk to you.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. And I will have Bob's information at the end of the video. If you have any question, reach out to Bob, reach out to me. We'll be more than happy to help you. And once again, thank you so much for joining Tina Talks. And I appreciate you. I really am. And I'm excited because I've been looking for people who are actually understand and can explain and live it so that people can be trusted and go and get more information. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, see you in the next segment of Tina Talk, and I'll talk to you soon.